One of the largest prisons in the United Kingdom, Wandsworth has a long history, dating back to its establishment in 1851, and it was the site of 135 executions between 1878 and 1961. Today we explore the 10 notorious inmates once held behind its imposing walls. Welcome to the top 10 most dangerous people ever held at Wandsworth High Security Prison in the United Kingdom. Don't forget to comment down below and let me know if I missed anything in this video at all. I do read every single comment. Number 10. James Earl Ray. Born on March 10th, 1928 in Alton, Illinois, Ray had a troubled childhood and a history of criminal activities including armed robbery. On the evening of April 4th, 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. was standing on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel when he was shot by a sniper. He died shortly afterwards, and Ray, who had a history of criminal activities and had escaped from a Missouri state prison, was identified as the prime suspect. After a global manhunt, James Earl Ray was captured in London's Heathrow Airport on June 8th, 1968, and was moved to Wandsworth Prison to await extradition. He was extradited to the United States and pleaded guilty to the murder of Martin Luther King Jr. on March 10th, 1969, a confession he later recanted. Sentenced to 99 years in prison, he spent the rest of his life attempting to retract his guilty plea, alleging that he was part of a conspiracy and that he did not act alone, yet he died in 1998. Number 9. Bruce Reynolds. Reynolds gained notoriety for masterminding one of the most famous and daring heists in British history, known as the Great Train Robbery. The robbery involved stopping the Glasgow to London mail train in Buckinghamshire when the gang, wearing masks and armed with weapons, overpowered the train's crew and stole £2.6 million. After the heist, the gang managed to evade the authorities temporarily. However, Reynolds was arrested in Torquay, Devon in 1968. Sentenced to 25 years in prison for his role in the robbery, he served around 10 years of his sentence, mostly at Wandsworth, before being released on parole in 1978. His crime remains one of the most infamous heists in history, and Reynolds later became something of a folk hero after his autobiography, The Autobiography of a Thief, published in 1995. Number 8. Christopher Tappin. Born in 1947, Tappin was the former president of the Kent Golf Union and involved in various business activities. In 2007, Tappin was accused of conspiring to export components for Iranian missiles. The charges were related to his alleged involvement in a scheme to export batteries used in Hawk air defense missiles to Iran. These accusations were a result of a sting operation conducted by US Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents. He was arrested and spent much of his time awaiting extradition in Wandsworth, before serving about 11 months of his sentence in a US federal prison. His extradition stirred controversy in the UK, with critics arguing that the US-UK extradition treaty was unfair, and that Tappin should have been prosecuted in the UK. Number 7. Gary Glitter. In 1997, Gary Glitter faced legal troubles when he was arrested in the United Kingdom on charges related to child pornography. He was found in possession of thousands of indecent images of children. Glitter was convicted in 1999 and sentenced to 4 months in prison. In 2006, Glitter faced more serious charges in Vietnam, and he was arrested in Ho Chi Minh City on suspicion of engaging in sexual activities with underage girls. In 2006, he was convicted on these charges and sentenced to 3 years in prison. After serving approximately 2 years of his sentence in Vietnam, Glitter was released and deported to the United Kingdom in 2008, and upon his return, he faced further restrictions and monitoring. In 2014, he was found guilty of attempted rape, 4 counts of indecent assault, and 1 count of having sex with a girl under the age of 13, and was sentenced to a further 16 years in prison. Number 6. Nirav Modi. Nirav Modi became embroiled in a major financial scandal involving the Punjab National Bank, one of India's largest public sector banks. It was revealed that Modi and his uncle Mehul were allegedly involved in fraudulent transactions that led to a substantial financial loss for the bank. Modi's family had been involved in the diamond trade for several generations, and both his father and uncles were diamond merchants. The fraud was estimated to be around $1.8 billion, making it one of the largest financial scams in India. Modi left India and travelled to several countries during the investigation, later being accused of escaping the country. He was subsequently arrested in London in March 2019 based on an extradition request from Indian authorities, where he spent time at Wandsworth. Number 5. Daniel Abed Khalif. Arrested on suspicion of breaking the Official Secrets Act, Khalif was later charged with terror and explosives offences and remanded to Wandsworth. On the 21st of July, Khalif appeared at the Old Bailey and pleaded not guilty to charges under the Official Secrets Act and the Terrorism Act. Little did the prison know that Khalif was about to cause a national incident, and one that would see action at the highest levels of government. Being held on remand while awaiting trial, Khalif, who had been working in the prison kitchens, despite his terror charges, made an audacious bid for freedom. Wearing a chef's uniform consisting of a white t-shirt, red and white checkered trousers, and brown steel toe-cap boots, he crawled under a food van and managed to escape the prison undetected. After a roll call flagged him up as missing, additional security checks at British airports and ports commenced, and Richmond Park, the largest park in London, was closed. 3 days later, Khalif was recaptured while riding a bicycle after being spotted by a plainclothes police officer. Charged with escaping from lawful custody in relation to escaping from Wandsworth, he was moved to Belmarsh Prison. Number 4. Reys Herbert. Reys Herbert is a British rapper best known as Digger D, who was heavily associated with the drill music scene. Arrested on 9th of November 2017 for various criminal activities, he was handed a Criminal Behaviour Order, or CBO for short. He was required to wear a GPS tracker on his leg and was required to check in with the probation service every 3 hours during the daytime. Recalled to prison in 2019 for breaching the conditions of his CBO, he was attacked and lost the use of his eye while being stabbed with a blade fashioned from a tuna can. In 2020, he pleaded guilty to violent disorder again and further breaches of his CBO, and was sentenced to 2 years and 6 months for his role in a machete brawl with rival gang members. Number 3. Tom O Carroll. Convicted for conspiracy to corrupt public morals in 1981, Carroll was imprisoned for 2 years. He picked up his second conviction in 2012 after being found guilty of importing indecent photographs of children from Qatar, and was sentenced to 9 months imprisonment on 3 counts, but one conviction was later overturned. In 2006, he was convicted of conspiring to distribute indecent photographs of children after supplying an undercover Metropolitan Police officer with a cache of indecent images. He was found to be involved with several international paedophile groups and was jailed for 2.5 years at Middlesex Guildhall Crown Court. He attempted to join the Labour Party in 2016, however was immediately expelled, having been placed on the sex offenders register for 10 years. Number 2. Ronnie Biggs. Second on the list is another famous face, the one and only Ronnie Biggs, who gained international notoriety for his involvement in the Great Train Robbery of 1963. Becoming one of the most well-known figures in British criminal history, Biggs helped to intercept the Royal Mail train in Buckinghamshire of that same year. Biggs managed to evade capture for several years by fleeing the UK, first heading to France and then onwards to Australia. Eventually he made his way to Brazil, where he lived for many years, as Brazil had no extradition treaty with the United Kingdom, which allowed Biggs to escape imprisonment. In 2001, facing health issues and financial difficulties, Biggs voluntarily returned to the United Kingdom and was immediately arrested and imprisoned. He was forced to serve the remainder of his original 30-year sentence for his role in the Great Train Robbery, but due to his poor health he was released on compassionate grounds in 2009. Biggs died on December 18, 2013 at the age of 84, but not before being subject to numerous books, documentaries and films. Number 1. Ronnie Cray. Notorious and influential in the criminal underworld of London during the mid-20th century, Ronnie Cray, along with his brother, became synonymous with organised crime in the 1950s and 1960s. Engaged in activities such as racketeering, extortion and armed robberies, he cultivated an image of glamour and celebrity connections, befriending influential figures in the entertainment industry. Ronnie was known for his unpredictable and violent behaviour, exhibited by signs of mental instability, and was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, making him formidable and unpredictable. One of the most infamous incidents involving the Crays was the murder of George Cornell, a rival gang member, in the Blind Beggar pub in 1966. Ronnie Cray walked into the pub and shot Cornell in cold blood, an act that further solidified the Crays' reputation of ruthless violence. In 1968, Ronnie was arrested and convicted of murder, among other charges, later receiving a life sentence, spending much of his sentence in psychiatric institutions. Thanks for watching the top 10 most infamous prisoners once held at Wandsworth Prison. Please throw a like on the video to support the ongoing series, comment down below if you think I missed any important information, and subscribe for more top list prison videos coming this month.